What's up, guys? It's Vernia from the Hack Check podcast. I'm joined today by Paolo, aka the Watch Guy Nam.
Yeah.
What some of you guys don't know is that yes, I have an MMA channel, but I really do enjoy watches. Paolo is the Watch Guy.
Yeah, and he enjoys MMA.
He enjoys MMA. So
Yeah.
what we thought we'd do today is we'd have a look at some of the watches that famous UFC fighters own.
Yeah, we're going to talk about watches in MMA, basically.
Exactly, yeah, and just preview some of the fights that they have coming up. So we've got a set of photos here, some of the fighters we picked out. I think the first one we started with
Khamzat Chimaev. He's got a nice collection, but the two notable watches for me that he likes wearing, that I see most, is his RM055, the Yas Marina circuit. It's named after the circuit in the Yas Island. Coincidentally, that is where I watched Dricus fight the first time in the UFC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was very exciting. I didn't actually know he was fighting because I didn't have the card and I got there late. He was walking in and then they started the fight. And in one section of this arena in Abu Dhabi, just started saying, Damas, Damas, say me what your name is. And then I was like, oh, that's Dricus. So I was very excited. I watched him fight in the EFC in 2015. Mm-hmm. I was drunk and told him you'll probably be champion one day. I have that photo. I saw him fight in the UFC, and now we have to have one UFC event in SA.
We have to, yeah.
Uncle Dana.
Dana, yeah.
Make it happen.
Get us tickets to you, Dana. That's crazy, though. It's about, how did you end up at Abu Dhabi to watch him fight?
Oh, that was actually so random. I did a little bit of business with some guys in the UAE for Red Bull and some other companies. And I had a friend, Sarmad. Shout out Sarmad. He just texted me, because those guys are crazy money that side. He texted me, hey, are you still around? I'm like, no, bro, I'm back home. I'm back in Africa, Namibia. He's like, oh, that's a pity, because I got you UFC tickets. I'm like,
no.
What do you mean UFC tickets? He's like, no, I got you tickets to the upcoming fight week. I'm like, great. And I don't think I'll make it. Then he said, well, that's a pity because I got you all access. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, there's VIP passes, fighter meet and greets. You go to the VIP parties. It was, I went immediately online flights to, okay, I'll see you next week, Sarmad. So the tickets didn't cost me much. And back then the flights were still cheap. Yeah. Post-COVID, shit got crazy.
Yeah, that's true. And you got to see the current world champion. I mean, what's the chances?
Yeah, no, what are the chances? I was very shocked. I went for Khabib Poirier and then I got to watch the whole card. Dricus was on there. That was a very good fight. I was, rooting for Poirier at the time, but Khabib is a beast. I'm actually still wearing the shirt I got at that event, the Khabib.
Damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
The Eagle.
The Eagle.
That was a really good experience. I got to meet a lot of fighters. Stephen Thompson, Claudia Gadelia, Shevchenko. I got a selfie with her. She looks good in real life.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to mess with her because she was wearing this. She didn't look like a fighter. All the other ladies were dressed like they were going to fight, or like, baggy clothing. She was in this beautiful red dress, with like red lipstick on, and her hair done. And then she just was very nice.
Yeah, she's fighting as well.
She needs to get
UFC
a belt back.
Notches soon. Yeah, 306. Yeah.
I hope she does though, man. The Bullet.
I like the Bullet. Yeah, and she had 2 South Africans on her team in the Ultimate Fighter. So
yeah, she did actually.
Yeah.
Back to watches though. Khamzat also likes to wear his Batman, the BLRO. It's the Batgirl. I prefer the Batgirl. So it's the Rolex GMT Master 2 with the blue and black bezel. For me, that is a watch that I would actually like to own. I had one, but I sold it. I need to get another one.
Why do they call it the Batgirl? Where does the name come from?
The Batgirl is because of the bracelet. This is the Oyster Perpetual, and that one comes with the Jubilee. So the Batman is this particular, the Oyster bracelet, and then that one is the Jubilee bracelet. So it has 3 interlinks, like smaller links that. So they just say it looks more feminine, but it's actually, for me, the Jubilee bracelet on the GMT is much nicer than the normal one, because then from far people will just think you're wearing a Submariner, in my opinion.
Yeah. So the next watch we got is Hublot.
A Hublot Unico Golf Edition. It's a carbon fiber watch that's in green. How I feel about Hublot, I don't know. Many other people hate Hublot. I think it's an okay brand. I would own one just to have it in the collection, but I wouldn't go out of my way for one. They're not big sellers, because in the watch industry, we're always trying to look for things that will retain value and you can always sell at break even or at a profit. Hublots, not so much.
So is that why people don't like Hublot, because they resell, or is it just because of the movement?
It's
or what
more
is
of a fashion brand type thing. The same with me. I don't like Jacob & Co.
Yeah.
He's a good watchmaker. The watches are made with good materials, but I mean, I can also just go and make a watch that's really and then just price it whatever. I think his pricing is just crazy, but it works for him. He's like, hey, I've made this watch and I'm going to sell it at 6 million US.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, sure, I can do that. And that's how he gets the hype. I don't see the value.
He's the famous Jacob that everyone used to speak about in the rap videos.
Yeah, and all the rap videos, because he started, the Jacob the jeweler. He is a jeweler. He used to sell diamonds and stuff. Then he got into watches, and it was always that big gaudy monstrosity in the 90s with the 5 different times and the yellow different colors. It looked like a Mickey Mouse watch to me. And now he's got big guys like Ronaldo and Ngannou, everyone punting his brand. And good for him, though. He's making mad money. He's a good designer overall, but I'm not a big fan of the brand. And I think maybe it's because the one of the laws of power resonates here with me. The things you can't have, treat them with disdain. So maybe because I can't own a Jacob, I'm just going to hate on him.
Yeah, fair enough. At least there's a bit of honesty there. What do you think's going to happen to the fight with Khamzat and Robert Whittaker?
I think, well, if Khamzat can just get healthy and stay fucking healthy. And although Whittaker's on a tear, he had his last fight won, didn't take too much damage, he's probably just going to stay training. It's going to be tight. I want to give it to Khamzat because, you know, he's a beast. But Robert Whittaker...
we haven't seen Khamzat fight a ranked middleweight though. That's the thing. Yeah. It's like, you know, okay, he's been steamrolling people and he did do well against Usman.
Yes.
But his first ranked opponent that he fought was Gilbert Burns at welterweight, and he struggled.
Yeah, he struggled.
Fair enough, he made it through. Okay, and he made it through Usman and he broke his hand, so there's other circumstances. But he hasn't fought a ranked middleweight yet. He
has not, and he's also constantly sick that they have to keep postponing the fights and they never know what the sickness is or what's wrong with him. But I mean, his training is pretty intense, but can he keep up to the level of a ranked middleweight like Robert Whittaker?
Well, if he pulls it out of this fight, I don't know if the UFC should keep him, honestly. If you pull twice, 3 times, I think he's had 3 health issues. Because the first time he was Kevin Holland, and then he missed weight because of health.
Health, and then injury, and then health again, apparently.
No, with the Robert Whittaker fight. So I think Khamzat can beat him. I think Khamzat can bully him.
I think so too.
It's just going to depend on whether he's actually like going to be the
I think Robert Whittaker's got heart though, so I mean,
Robert Whittaker is the Reaper.
Smaller, stockier, lower center of gravity. Khamzat is nice and tall. Probably take him down, beat him on the ground. I don't know, but I give that fight to Whittaker. And I really would like to see Whittaker fight for the belt again, but I don't think he can beat Dricus.
No.
Well, maybe in terms of cardio, Dricus looked tired in that second round. That had me nervous.
Yeah, fighting on the back foot. Yeah, we don't have any pictures of Dricus's watches. We're trying to find the one, but we're not sure exactly which watch it is. But
well, shout out to my friends at Lux Time in South Africa. I mean, they supply Dricus with watches in Johannesburg, in Sandton. They have a new office. I love those guys. I'm always there with Adrian and Shane when I'm in Cape Town. Great people. The one time I even told them, hey guys, I'm coming down for a couple of days, want to shoot some watches by you. Can Dricus maybe be there? And they're like, oh no, he's going to be here tomorrow at this time. And I'm like, I'm there. Got there, landed, dropped my bags, got an Uber, get there. And then I get in, they're like, hey guys, what's up? They're like, cool, Paulo, welcome back. I'm like, where's Dricus? They're like, oh no, he just left. I'm like,
oh no.
He came early and I would have liked to have met the guy, man.
Yeah. Nah, maybe you should go for the belt tour if they do the belt tour in South Africa.
We can,
I mean,
if they do.
It's your birthday in a month, so maybe the belt tour coincides with that.
I need to do something cool for my birthday. It's the big 4-0. And,
you have to.
Then you get to that existential part of your life of have you done enough? Let's get back to watches and MMA. Taporia and Holloway, excited for that fight.
Yeah.
I really thought I maybe making a way back to Abu Dhabi to watch that fight. It's gotten quite expensive. But I like what Holloway did in his last fight. He's always been a stand-up guy to me. Now he's got his BMF belt. But Ilia Topuria, though, stoic. He's quiet and he just likes to fucking fight. I don't know.
If you asked me before the Holloway-Gaethje fight, I would have said Topuria all day. But then I watched Holloway in that fight and I was like, it wasn't even just berserking Gaethje.
It's his striking.
He was at such a measured approach in that fight, and he just completely bamboozled Gaethje.
Good boxer, good striking, and range. I mean, I think it was Cater. He was fighting against Cater when he even said, "Listen, like defend yourself," because I'm just. He literally stopped the fight, tell the guy, "Keep your hand up," because I'm just beating you, and he just kept pointing like I'm gonna punch you here, and I don't know, and he keeps saying, "I'm the best boxer in the UFC." Like,
what a fight, dude! That 308 card is insane. I think 308's got the potential to be card of the year. To be honest with you,
could be.
I mean, if you just look at some of the other fights, you've also got Ankalaev's on that card. You've got Volkov on that card. It's just top to bottom. It's just a stat card. So that's going to be
and the Sugar Sean fight that's coming up. I'm excited for what's happening.
306. Yeah, I wanted to get some of his watches too, but I can only find the UFC. They've got that new UFC. It looks like a title belt on a watch.
Yeah.
That's like all the champs are getting.
I haven't quite looked at it. But
I think it's a Timex. I think that makes it so.
Timex.
But he's got like a iStart Rolex that I think the Nelk boys gave him. He's got, but I don't have a picture of it. So
here I will agree with Nico Leonard. You shouldn't ice out your watch aftermarket because you do still ruin the value of the watch. Yes, there's that argument. And Nico had that whole fight with TRX tracks in New York where I'm putting 100K worth of diamonds on this watch, so automatically the watch should go up by 100,000. Yes, but it's not the same because you're still drilling holes and you're modifying this watch that's already has its value. So automatically the watch's value drops and the diamonds that you put on the watch don't always meet the value. It's a fight. But that was interesting to see the two of them going at each other on YouTube, actually.
Yeah, up next, so there's another fight happening in October. It's Ngannou versus Ferreira. This is in Saudi. It's part of Riyadh season, I believe. Actually. That's interesting because it's the whole argument of like who's the best, the baddest man in the planet. Because, you know, the UFC fans also say John Jones. Others will say Francis Ngannou. I think Ngannou Jones right now would be interesting, even though Ngannou got knocked out against Joshua. His MMA stock is still high.
Yeah, boxing MMA is different. I mean, had Ngannou, I don't know, had he prepared better, I don't know what he would have done. He just assumed one can transition into the other. It's not as easy because MMA is so multifaceted. You're thinking about kicking, you're thinking about takedowns, you're thinking about elbows. Whereas in boxing, you know, I thought he was going to win that fight.
Yeah, I did.
Homie punches hard, and
especially when he after how he did against Fury, I was like, man, he outboxed Fury for the longest part of it. I actually think he won that fight, but you know, it is what it is.
And then he just got knocked out.
Yeah, got knocked out. But it's still a good fight but Ferreira, it's hard to judge him because he fought Ryan Bader, who's actually a light heavyweight. Let's be honest. I know he fights at heavyweight.
Yeah, he's a light. Yeah,
the size difference was crazy, man. It was like. Yeah, but he sparked him very quickly. It's an interesting fight, 13-3 versus 17-3 or something like that. And Ngannou's also getting up there in age. Like that's the.
He's not a spring chicken anymore.
Yeah, he's like 36 or 37, I think.
He's 37, but he also had a very difficult life, and I respect the things he's managed to achieve and accomplish in his life. I'm not a big fan of his watch collection. I know he does like his Jacob & Co's. Yeah. I think he wears the CR7.
It was a gift from Ronaldo.
Probably. Yeah, it is. Yes, it was. Yeah, it was. Gift, With the baguette time. I also want to be in that room where you're just like, hey, Ronaldo, I'm really a big fan. I'm Portuguese and from Namibia. It's like, oh, cool, here, take my watch. Yeah. Like, how do you get gifted a watch, guys, that's worth, 2, 3, 4 million rand? Oh.
Lucky, but you're not a fan of the Jacob & Co.
No, but I mean, if I got one for free, shout out Jacob & Co. I wouldn't say no.
I would be the biggest fan if you gave me one of those. Even the one, and we'll get. Maybe we'll talk about it when we get there. But there's one that McGregor's got that.
Oh, he's got a few.
Yeah, McGregor. I'm not a big. I mean, yeah.
In terms of Jacob & Co, I know he's got the Astronomia. He's also got the casino one.
He's got the Godfather.
The Godfather casino. Yeah, he's got a few watches. But I mean, also. That's always that thing that upsets me the most. People that will value and appreciate these watches don't often go out and buy them. They get gifted. You know, like I'm a celebrity. Jacob & Co. give you the watch probably for like next to nothing or probably for free because, hey, it's that brand awareness. Francis Ngannou also has a couple of Rolexes he likes wearing. He's two-tone gold Sky Dweller. That's also a nice watch that I've seen him wearing. It's a big, hefty watch for a big guy. It sits well on the wrist. It's a little too big for me, but I would like to have one at one point again. The Sea Dweller is one of the most complicated watches that Rolex makes. It has a Saros calendar, so it's got the month, it has a day, it's got a GMT, so a second time in the middle, off-center dial. Really a nice watch, really nicely complicated. And I've had a few actually, but I'd actually like to get another one.
Why do you just move them along, or do you just trade them, or why don't you still have?
They came in a stock. They came in a stock to sell, so I do sell. But that's also my other challenge, being a watch dealer, is that I end up buying watches to sell, and then some just stay in the collection. You know, that's the problem that I have, and I'm complaining. I'm a little short on cash this month. Well, sell some fucking watches, pal. Yeah. But I keep the watches that I like and have value to me, and also I buy watches during milestones of my life. I always tell people you should have a milestone watch. My first paycheck from Trustco, I bought a Tissot Vizio date. I had my first Casio as a student. When I had my first baby, I bought an Omega Seamaster. When I left my one job, bought a Breitling, started another job, bought a Bell & Ross, and then just started with the whole watch trading. I've always been into watches, but I couldn't always afford them, but that's why you start. And I try to trade and try to, work my way into getting in the trade. And I'm very helpful and thankful. I'm not helpful. I'm very thankful that the guys in SA, all the dealers are very, very accommodating. Namibia doesn't have a big watch market yet. I'm selling the same watches to the same people. But South Africa's got a much bigger market. And so it's always nice synergizing with the guys in Cape Town, Josie, Dubai, and, hey, I've got this watch. At one point, Nico Leonard wanted to buy a bluesy from me, this particular model. But my challenge was getting it to Belfast. Yeah. And I wasn't making enough to cover the tickets. So I was just like...
So final thoughts on... Well, actually, before we actually get to that, what are your thoughts on PFL as a competition for UFC? And I saw now they're looking at doing apparently a couple of events in Africa.
In Africa, yeah.
As well, with Francis at the helm. So... What do you think? I like the competition I don't think the competition for the
healthy
UFC yet,
competition, yeah.
But I like the healthy competition. I would actually like to see, especially in heavyweight, Francis Ngannou and John Jones have a cross-promotional. But
would they allow it though? Your contractual disputes will start.
And they'll never. I mean, they imagine. So they do it with PFL and Bellator. Okay, I know they own both, but imagine one promotion loses everything. So how bad would you look if you, like, let's say UFC goes 0-5
yes.
in a main event against PFL? Everyone's be like,
the
like
better
UFC,
fighters.
We're gonna go watch
that. But I mean, Bellator's been trying for years. Bellator was an okay promotion, but I mean, they just can't compete with the magnitude that UFC is on.
100%.
Quality of the promotion, quality of the production, everything they do, the actual events, the way they promote it, the organization, and obviously the fighters. They go and look for really top of the crop fighters that can fight in the UFC. If you've in the UFC, you've reached like top tier. So that's also the other thing. Do you really want to go and watch guys that you think might be mid tier, but even though the fights would be good and they probably are good fighters, it's that mindset of UFC is just the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be interesting to see what Francis Ngannou can do. I think he's got a couple of fights left in him.
I think he does. That guy is a beast, and I think he deserves to actually get back into the UFC, get his belt, and get some redemption, because I don't like how they did him. They did him dirty, in my opinion. Yeah.
But I think the deal that he's got now, being on the PFL Africa board and all that kind of stuff, I don't think we'll ever see him back in the UFC. But and he got to box. I mean, the money he made from his boxing alone is...
That's also the thing that I've never understood. Boxing has higher purses than MMA, but boxing is not as technical. We can make the argument, and most people might argue with me here, but or disagree, but boxing is not as safe as MMA. MMA is safer than boxing. 100%. We can make all of those arguments. We don't... In MMA, once your body goes limp, your eyes roll back, the fight's over. We don't make you stand up after 10 seconds to get more beating when you're already in a vulnerable position. You can't fall out of the ring. It's a cage. There's a bunch of things.
Yeah.
And the purses, I just don't understand how they're so ridiculously high. I mean, the lowest paid, I think it was a WBA fight, the lowest paid fighter on that card was still like 4 or 5 million US, just show money, not what you get at the gate, not what your sponsors give you, just to show up and fight. Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, what was that? I think 500 million?
Yeah, they said Floyd made 300 or something and Conor made 100 total after the pay-per-views.
Yeah.
Chael Sonnen disputes it, but still, I mean, I do...
400 million US.
Yeah.
That's money for life.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll get into the cage with Floyd Mayweather for that kind of money. I'll get my ass handed to me. I'd lose in the first or second. I'll put up maybe some valiant effort, but I mean, I want my money in my account before I get to the ring.
Yeah. The moment you step in the ring, it must be there. So.
I must get my F&B notification.
Yeah. Speaking of Conor McGregor, he is
also,
touted to fight. He's touted to fight at the end of the year, hopefully. Poor Michael Chandler's been waiting for years and years to try to fight him.
Michael Chandler should move on.
You're
trying to make your money off McGregor.
I'll tell you why he doesn't, though, because apparently they're 10xing his... So what he got in his last fight, they're offering him 10 times more to fight McGregor.
But stay active. Now you're just training. Stay active. Maybe take 1 or 2 fights, ranked opponents, stay in the conversation, then still get your 10x. But now you're just sitting and waiting for the money.
I agree. It's been 2 years or 2.5 years or something stupid.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous. And first it was Conor had that, I think, the ban, and then the broken toe, pinky toe, all sorts of things. And now they're going to fight end of the year. I mean...
So if they even do, because Conor's already saying he doesn't really want to fight with him. So
he's got his money.
Some people think Conor just wants to get out of his contract. I don't know, it's obviously alleged and everything, but like he just wants to get out of his contract, so he's ducking the fights just to get out of his contract. But he's rich enough to buy himself out. I don't know why he wouldn't just buy himself out.
Principle. Maybe keep your money. I don't know. But you're right. But I mean, Conor is just... I don't know, man. I really want to see him fight again, but does he have it? I think he lost his zeal, his wanting of fighting. Now it's just, now it's a job. Now it's like, I got to go in there and fight this guy and, get my payday. You've made enough money. You've made enough noise to make enough money.
Yeah, but you know what the UFC offers him that he can't get anywhere else? It's that attention and that of being somebody.
Yeah,
so there's true. Like buzz, people talk about him, all that kind of stuff. The money, I don't think he cares about that much
anymore. Yeah. I
don't think he cares that much. I don't even think he cares about belts or anything like that. I think it's that thing, that buzz about people like Conor McGregor.
He's in the conversation. He wants to stay in the conversation.
Clout, if you
he
want.
Wants to stay relevant. Yeah, I get you.
But I mean, I will always watch his fights. I think
it's
the trash talk, the spectacle, everything is just so.
The pageantry that is Conor McGregor. The pageantry.
Come back, Conor. Come back, and even just one more fight. I don't care if you fight a bum at 55, 70, whatever, 85. Go challenge Dricus. Make Dricus rich.
That's not a bad idea.
I mean, he wants to fight at 85. He'll get absolutely destroyed.
I don't think that's a good move for him. I think he should stay where he is. I don't think he should go up, and I don't think Pereira should come down. I think Pereira should also stay where he is.
I don't think Pereira can come down. I don't think Pereira can physically make 185 anymore.
Yeah, he was struggling.
Killing himself.
He was killing himself. He was really struggling to make weight at that weight class. But I think maybe they can do a catchweight fight. Would be nice. Good money. Maybe the promotion can look at that. But if it was between Pereira and Dricus, no respect to Dricus, I really like the guy. I think Pereira would win at that higher weight class. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it will all depend on how Dricus's power translates, because also he cuts a lot of weight.
He cuts a lot, and he gets winded quickly. And everyone's always talking about his gas tank. And he even said that he was preparing for Izzy, and he's improved his fitness, but he did look winded in that second round already for me, in that third.
Apparently, but how they explained it is because he's used to fighting forward, he was now on the back foot because Izzy was pressuring him, which I didn't expect.
Yeah,
which I can understand that 100%.
Because Izzy also tends to fight well on the back foot, and he still generates power while backing up. So interesting.
But the thing about Dricus is an enigma. Like his coach Neil, I think the podcast is playing in the back. Hey, there he is, right there.
Oh, hey.
He gets better as the fight goes, and it does show. Like if you allow him, whether he's tired or not, you allow him to stay in the fight.
Yeah.
He's gonna finish you. He's
gonna
push
find a way
forward,
to
and
win.
he's gonna find all like with Strickland.
But that's it. Dricus has heart. I do appreciate that about him. He's not going to go out willingly. You have to either submit or finish him. That's it.
That's it. And he's not going to tap either. Like if you submit him, he's not going to tap.
Yeah,
and you got to knock him out cold. So, but a fight with Pereira, I think at 85, I would favor Dricus because of the weight cut with Pereira. But that's why he doesn't want to fight at 85 because he doesn't want excuses for Pereira. 205, I don't know, man. I can never doubt Dricus.
Dricus could bulk. It would be easy for him to actually make 205, in my opinion.
Dude, the guy, so I weigh 100 and I weigh 105. Look at us next to each other, and he fights at 85. So I mean, he could easily fight at 92. That's what 205 is, 92.
Yeah,
I mean, he'd be good with the size. The range is a problem though, possibly with Pereira.
Pereira's
power, dude. Pereira
does
if
good power.
He taps him on his chin, he could put him out.
Yeah,
actually. It's tough to put Dricus out, but I think he could do it. But again, fighting, that's why we love fighting.
Yeah, you never know.
Get answered.
Actually.
Okay, so just back on Conor quickly. We've got a couple of
watches.
We've got to talk
about Conor's watch collection.
Yeah, we got to talk about his watch collection because he's been, I mean, since his Eddie Alvarez fight, he's been rocking good watches. We don't have that to pop up on screen, but more recently,
Jacob & Co.'s, Rolex's, Pateks. Patek for me is the end all be all. It's also on my Grail dream list to one day have a Patek. I have a Nautilus, but I was lucky.
Yeah.
But Conor, no. He also often wears his solid gold, yellow gold Rolex Daytona with a green dial. That's reference number 1168508. Very nice watch. The gold is always very good, but for me, gold is a soft metal. You can't wear it as a daily because it's going to scratch and scuff easily. The Pateks that he has, insane.
Yeah.
Insane. And I like green because green is for money, and Conor has a lot of green watches. His Pateks are green.
He's got a green day date, I think, as well.
Yeah, he's got a mint green day date.
I love that watch.
Also with diamond baguette hour markers. Very nice fucking watch. He's got a world timer, a Patek world timer 5113, I believe. Yeah, 5131J. That is also nice. Solid rose gold.
What makes Patek so good? What is it the name, the history? Is it the what?
The history, the name, the quality as well. You have to understand that the way I also sell watches, they're investments. They'll last you a lifetime. Patek is considered part of the Holy Trinity. Rolex is not even part of the Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity is Vacheron Constantin, Audemars Piguet, and Patek Philippe. Those are the guys that led the way for everyone else in terms of mechanical Swiss watchmaking. Those are watches that will last you a lifetime. And they also just make such limited production runs. So you're not going to just be able to go to a store and say, I want this Patek right now, even if you have the money. You go on a waiting list. Yeah. They'll decide when they will make one for you or give you one because they make so limited. One can argue it's that, keep the supply low so that the man can stay high. But they take their time in making their watches and they don't report to anybody.
And in a world where everybody's making mass-produced quick stuff, it's good.
That's the argument now you get with TAG and Omega versus Rolex and Patek. Rolex is owned by a foundation. It's not doesn't have to appease shareholders. Doesn't have to produce profits. They make what they can when they can. Rolex technically they've also said that Rolex makes a loss on its watches. It makes the most of its money on its charitable foundations and its property holdings. So
yeah,
they don't.
It's kind of like McDonald's. It doesn't make it much on the fast food.
It's on the properties that they own, exactly, because they own every property that the McDonald's is at.
Yeah, and Conor's got another. He's got that Jacob & Co. with the world.
The Astronomia.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Astronomia. That's
one
nice.
Of the watches
domed watch. That's like 14 million rand.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Like that's a nice watch. Like for me, just visually, it's a nice watch.
The movement is nice and intricate because as the world turns, the actual bulb, a little ball on the spring wheel also turns. It's a complicated watch. It's really nice.
What is the movement? What type of movement is it called?
It's a Jacob & Co. movement.
Okay,
I wouldn't know.
Because he's got turbulence as well, I think, but that's not his specific.
It's not his forte, but I actually don't even know much about Jake Co movements. I can tell you about a Bareknuckle movement, a Protect movement, the calibers and the power reserves, the jewels they use. But I've never dived into Jake Co, the actual mechanism and the movement of the watch.
Yeah.
I think I'll do that for the next video.
14 million rand, eh? Just like that, on your wrist, eh? You
Just
want to cruise around the streets of Cape Town with 14 million bucks on your watch.
No one's going to take it from him, man. He's obviously got his security guards and he can probably fight.
I mean, I would imagine he can fight.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
I was also thinking when I saw the watch, Dricus is like getting it with his celebrations afterwards, wearing that Rolex. I'm like, man, no one's going to take that. Yeah.
I couldn't tell if it was a bluesy or if it was a Cookie Monster. The Cookie Monster is the Rolex Submariner in all white gold with a blue dial, a blue bezel, not a blue dial. So I couldn't tell. We'll ask the internet to tell us what it is, and then I can tell you the reference number and more about the watch. But I think it was a bluesy. I think it was the reference number 126610 LB. Lynette Bleu.
Well, Conor, hopefully you come back soon. It would be great to watch the pageantry of everything again. And Michael Chandler fight would be interesting, definitely.
Would be.
One of the fighters we were just about to get into it is Khabib. Obviously, he's retired, but he's also got a nice
Didn't he start? He started his own promotion as well, Eagle FC.
Yeah.
And didn't he also wanted to go into football? I remember he also plays soccer.
I know people are starting all these weird leagues and stuff, and like Gerard Piqué started that other, I forget what it's called. So I don't know if Khabib would have started something like that, but I mean, he's always been a big Real Madrid fan. I know he was a big fan of Ronaldo.
Yeah.
He got the chance to meet Ronaldo a bunch of times.
Yeah, but his league had different rules. I remember there was a different set of rules as opposed to actual soccer. I remember reading and I was like, this is a little ridiculous. I was going to check.
So I think the last fighter that people, obviously he's got a big fan base still, but Khabib, he's retired.
He's retired. I always see him wearing Hublots. I never quite appreciated that. And I think he also had his own Jacob & Co., the Eagle. It was an explosive black titanium watch made by Jacob & Co. specifically for him. Again, it doesn't look appealing to me. That watch is not pretty, and it's nothing against Jacob & Co. The Astronomias are nice. The Godfather, those watches. The Batman, the new Batman that he made is quite nice. But the Epic X collection and that new Ronaldo one and the black explosive titanium for the Eagle, not nice watches to me.
Yeah.
I don't think they look nice. Like I wouldn't, like, I see it on someone's wrist, I'm like, You get certain watches that just stand out, like the Rolex Patek Philippe 5980 that Conor also wears gold. Brilliant watch. It's a nice shape, good proportions. Sorry, I can go on all day.
No. It's just what I was going to say. Even for me, doesn't look at it that intricately. It doesn't look appealing. No. It just looks like one of those watches where you're like, he got paid to wear that watch. Honestly, that's what it looks like, and it doesn't.
True.
And it's also, I don't know. I would much rather, if you're going to spend that money, if you're actually going to buy one of those, I would much rather buy something way else. I'd much rather buy a Rolex or
I'm not even aware, does Jacob even hold its value? I don't know what they are in the second-hand market. I've never sold a Jacob. I've never actually seen and touched one. Someone offered me one the other day from Ghana, but I wasn't sure. Again, I don't know how to authenticate because I've never seen one. Just don't know that much about it to go out of my way for one. But
I'm not a watch expert, but I don't think that they would hold their value. I don't know.
I doubt as well.
But yeah, it's got an interesting collection. And Khabib, where would you rank Khabib on a lot of people have him as the greatest fighter of all time. I don't. I don't think he did it for long enough.
I don't. But I mean, he did the smart thing. He did what a lot of fighters should do. Case in point, Anderson Silva. You quit while you're ahead. Quit while you're ahead, and just always have that question. Was he the greatest? Yes, he didn't lose, and he should have quit while he was at the peak. And then he kept trying to fight and trying to come back, and it just kept getting worse for him. It started getting really pathetic. Didn't him and Chael Sonnen box recently in Brazil?
Yeah, I think I don't know. They did do it, eh? Yeah, they did. They actually did do it. Yeah, they boxed.
I think Silva won on points.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. And he had to take he took a loss against Paul. I won't say what everyone's thinking because that's alleged, but
and I really hope Tyson just knocks him out.
Tyson's 60, dude. I don't know.
But Tyson still has some power. But also, why do you want to pay to see someone in his 30s fight a 60-year-old man? Yes, the guy has legacy. Yes, he's got history. But you're 60. Again, quit while you're ahead. But it's the money.
Do people pay to watch it though? Because the pay-per-view buys, as far as I've seen, are not that high. So I don't know how the economics work. I don't know if they got a big sugar, like if they got
Sponsors,
a sugar daddy.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe. But and the fight's in November.
Because think about it. If they were doing the numbers that they said they were doing, same thing with Logan Paul's fights, they would be having fights every month. Every month, every 2 months. Okay, not them specifically, but they would be having fights more often, because if you're doing those kinds of numbers, So I don't know if I believe. Oh, well, cool. Thanks a lot, Paul. I appreciate it, man. That
fun.
was really cool. We hope you guys enjoyed that as a little bit
we should do some more.
Yeah, having a look into some of the upcoming fights, but then also just have a look at a different outlook on what these fighters are spending their money on, you know.
Yeah.
Izzy's a good one as well, actually. We should do Izzy next time.
He's got I don't know why he was wearing pearls at one point, but he also likes to wear his gold date. He has a gold day date that's quite nice. It's a 38 millimeter, sits well on his wrist. It's quite nice.
I like a day date, yeah.
I also would love a day date. I had one the other day as well. But that's what I always like to talk about as well. I will wear my Havaiana Pluckies, my cheap Nike shirt, Mr. Price shorts, and then I'll have my day date on.
Yeah.
I'm such a chop.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, man. You spend your money how you want, you wear what you want, you do what you want.
Yeah, the money, the value's in the watches.
Exactly.
But this was fun. Thank you for having me on your podcast, and we'll be doing more of these.
100%, yeah. I appreciate you being on, and we hope you guys enjoyed that, and let us know what you guys think in the comments.